look cool. Right? I don't know what the cool terms are here in Austria, but I will speak to Werner and Manuela hopefully about that very soon. I messed up on the last point. Yeah, I've killed it completely, didn't I? Gosh.
I think it's forward.
Here we go, huh?
Yeah. Right. So I've jumped first to D and now what you know, somewhat with a bit of C. Black and female, especially black female representation, has a far, far way to go before we can start talking about having balance, and I'm talking true balance. You know, balance 50-50, when you enter a partnership or a relationship, we always say, we split things 50-50. Right? When we go to the restaurant, normally our ladies say, no, it's 100% you and 0 me. But not in terms of employment within South Africa. If I can, by the top of my head, I think in today, if you go to the Stellenbosch wine region in Cape Town, which you have to come and visit, promise me you will come. You will work hard to give us marks so that you can come. I promise you I will show you a good time. Stefan can relate. Okay? We have in total about only 50 female winemakers. Now, one or two of you might argue, okay, but in relation to how many wineries do you have in Stellenbosch? We have a fair amount of them. I think we are in the vicinity of about 250 wineries just in the Stellenbosch area.
We've got 4,000 wineries in our industry.
But that, I'm just talking about Stellenbosch.
It shows how exaggerated the problem is. So
Yes.
But out of 4,000 producers, you have...
There's about 50 female winemakers. Now, we must break that number up even more because at some point in time we had quite an influx of white female farm workers, and I'm using that terms of reference so that everyone in this class can understand it's not being racist or making a racial connotation to some form of employment or job or scenario. We have in total about 50 winemakers, and out of that 50, if 10% of that are black female farm workers, then it's a lot. You can literally count them on your one hand. Now, I'm not saying that the level of skill or attaining the level of skill to become a female farm worker is different to what any other person, male or female, has to undergo. It's exactly the same thing. But the problem remains. The avenue for growth is not being created. It's not being there for the taking. It's being closed up. Because as part of our industry plan we have in South Africa, there should be allocations for training made by every employer every year, religiously. That is the only way, or part of the way that we can enforce skills development within our employment sectors, and at least to face up to the realities that even though if some of you have heard the financial talks going on an annual basis in South Africa, that poverty alleviation and job creation is two of the key things that's being addressed by government every year. right? And every year our financial minister or Minister of Finance would announce that we have created X amount of jobs. And usually, if I can think of the statistics between 1996 and 1999, it could have been, or it was announced, that 1.1 million jobs was created within those periods. And that was just 5 years, the 5 years running after the democratic election. So we thought, wow, there's a move in the right direction, right? People are getting jobs, which means poverty should be addressed, number one. Caregiving should be addressed. And overall healthiness of the population should be addressed as we move on in time. No. Reality remains 2 out of 3 jobs that were created then, and I'm sure it's very similar today, has been for the informal sector. Which means, and that is where many of our female farm workers fall into. Because, and you see he's trying to shush me up and I'm like, which means that if you could find a job and you're a woman, it will be in the informal sector or as part of general labor, and it will mean that you should give up on things like employment benefits. You will have quite a huge amount of insecurities around your job, and you should fear that the next person showing a bit more interest than you, not necessarily having more skill than you, will probably be offered the same job if you stay at work. And just the complete unhappiness about the environment. So for farm worker women, it's still a rough time, but the plus point is that we have succeeded in developing skills at quite a significant different level, where we have group of farm worker women who act as seasonal workers. So during harvest time, they get major contracts with a whole group of 40 enters the farm premises, and they are being employed for the whole season or during pruning and harvesting time. Okay, so it's going to take many, many more years, and like Charles said, both you and myself will probably not be here, so we need to leave a legacy and inspire other people similar to us to take the battle forward, so to speak. Okay, and that is where I'm going to time out before my husband comes in.